Hi, it's Lori from Positive Thanks Living. We're doing day 5 of Barbara's December Daily, Collaging 2020. And I'm doing something, adding color using watercolor, color pencil, markers, or any other medium you prefer. I already did my watercoloring because I'm not a person who does a lot of watercolor, so I just tried it off the screen. These are supposed to be ornaments, and yeah, that's going to go down on my page for day 5. Now I've got all kinds of different elements here because using the watercolor paper, I want to create a pocket. Here was day 3, day 4, and today is day 5. So I'm just going to slip this out of the book and work on this page here. Now here's the watercolor. It's on watercolor paper, so it held up well to the amount of water that I put down on it, which was a lot. And the idea is I'm going to attach it here, here, and here with glue, leaving a way to slide something inside. And that's going to be a journaling spot. Slide it inside. So we're going to decorate the journaling spot and this watercolor piece. I didn't have a regular red to make my ornament, and it's a little too pink for my liking. I experimented a little bit using distress ink on a surface. Sorry, knocking things on the... I have this Ranger mat, and when it doesn't let the water through. So when you put some ink on there, this is fired brick, and you spritz a little bit of water, it causes little bubbles. And I just used some tissue paper. There's 2 sides to tissue paper. One side is a more paper-like, one side has a shiny bit. So I used the paper part on the ink and just mooshed it around a little bit, like so. And I did it over and over till all the ink was used up. I let it dry, and then I cut out a bit to cover my circle and hopefully make it look a little less pink. And to cut out the circle, I'll show you what I did. I just used the technique that we use with napkins, where when you use a wet brush and you go in a circle, over the wetting the outline that you want to tear, it comes apart. It tears because I didn't want to cut with a when it's wet, it tears much. My brush isn't wet enough anymore. That's the problem. It tears beautifully, just like this. So I'm going to glue this down, and it'll be less pink, a little more red. That's the first step in this little bit of collaging. One of my first journaling experiences, I used this technique on all the paper that I had, putting ink down on a mat and spraying it with a bit of water. I didn't know about tea dyeing. So I used ink in the same form. And so all my papers were really interesting. There. I'm running out of my yoo-hoo stick. Pretty soon I'm going to have to revert back to the glitter glue until I can get some more glue stick. So I'm going to put a strip of numbers down the side. If I can find the strip of numbers that there it is, here. And these are a clickable stamps. See how it has and you can put them together, you can remove them, and obviously I just put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'd like to have some kind of indication behind here that this is 5. And I'm wondering whether if I put a little bit of that red tissue, or no. So this is a tea-dyed piece of tracing paper that I pulled off. And I wanted to stamp just a little bit of the rustic green on here and tear it out and see. So if it was on the opposite side and it was, yeah, I think that'll work. Let's try it. I'll show you what I mean. Now, yes, 5. See? You can just see a faint outline that's 5. That worked well. Pleased. I'm going to put this down on the front. I have, this is chapter 1 Snowy Garden papers here. So this will be like a little pocket, and the tag will go in the pocket. And I know that's going to go on the other one. So when this goes in here, is that all that I have? Possibly. Yes, possibly. Okay, I'm going to glue this down. And for this, I'll use the glitter glue because it adheres so nicely. If it will come out. I didn't check that before I started filming. There we go. A wee bit too much glue on there, more than what I would want, because though it dries clear, it is a little bit shiny. Here we go. Down, and eventually this tag can just slide in there once it's dry. I don't want it to stick too quickly. I think I'll add a few more of these stamped stars. I've heard that odd numbers is the best choice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Here, I'm going to do it half off. Print onto this. Goes over. That's okay. There we go. 7, odd number. So that's the front part of the card. I don't know that I'm still very happy with how this turned out, but I'll think about it as we go through. And the tag will go in here. Next, I want to do the journaling card. Now this is the same technique I showed you with the tissue paper, but this time with tea-dyed paper. And so I have an interesting dimension there. I'd like to put this on here and my number 5. Somehow, this is the napkin that was on day 2, I think. Day 3. This is from the edge of the napkin. So this was the napkin, and this is along the edge. The plaid. I'll put that there, glue it down. Sorry, I'm quiet. Gluing obviously takes some of my attention. I can't talk. A little bit of the napkin. And I haven't thought about what I'm going to write yet. I don't know why. What kind of list can I make? I made a list of songs that I enjoyed for Christmas. A friend on Facebook has begun a group with Christmas cookies that she's baking. And we're not eating too many sweets right now, my husband and I. So this year's won't be as many Christmas cookies as it has been other years. I'm not sure whether I put Christmas cookies down on this, because then that'll just tempt us too much. Catherine from Sunnyside Journals had a neat video the other day where she detailed a recipe that she used when she was growing up, or her mum. It was one of her mum's recipes for shortbread. And when I just looked at it very quickly, I saw that it didn't have too much sugar. So maybe I'll try Catherine's shortbread recipe and just see. My husband is obviously our last name is Ferguson, so he's of Scottish descent, Scottish and British, and shortbread is a part of his family tradition. Also scones. And yes, I know that in many, many areas they call them scones. But according to my husband and his family tradition, they're called scones. So I don't argue. Do you call them scones or do you call them scones? Regardless, they're good. So I have made those, and I've used like a Splenda to sweeten it, and it worked out beautifully. I'm not sure I want to try making shortbread with Splenda or a Splenda substitute. sugar substitute. But yeah. Okay, so there's a journaling card. And we'll put it on the page in here. A little bit of lace. There's the pocket. And the card will go in like so. I should have measured it before I did this. Is it going to stick out? Somewhat, yes, so I better cut it down here. And I might round the corners too later. My corner rounder is out of my reach. There. And if it sticks out, that's okay. I don't mind. All right. Now to glue this down. Not this side. So, I learned this from Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventures. She detailed when she's gluing, she's very careful. She holds the part that she doesn't want to glue down. But brilliant, brilliant. Because there's nothing like gluing in a place that you didn't want glue. All right, let's lay this down on the page very carefully. This I did measure before because it was a larger sheet of watercolor paper. I need to buy some baby wipes just to get rid of some of this glue that's just a little bit extra. I keep rubbing it away with my fingers, and I'm sure, well, look at my hands. Isn't that something? The red and the green. Oh, dear. So this is the page from yesterday. 4. This is 5. And this will tuck in here like a little journaling spot. And it's still hanging out a little bit more than what I wanted. All right, so we're going to cut some of the 5 off. That's the way it goes. Maybe I'll cut it up to the photo. And I don't know if it's straight. No. Do you cut straight just looking at things? I don't, obviously. That's why when I round the corners, it's harder to tell when you've not cut straight. There's a little tip. All right. And this goes in here, like so. There. That's day 5 for Barbara's journaling, Barbara's December Daily Collaging 2020. I added color using watercolor. Yeah, I don't know whether this looks good. Maybe I'll just add some more stamps over top of it. You know what? Let's try it. It can't hurt. Well, I suppose it could hurt, but it's just to practice, right? Oops. Oops. Ugh. There. I may go back and do something differently there also. We'll find out. I don't know. Take care. This is day 5, and I'm Lori at Positive Thanks Living. I wish you a happy day and a wonderful December. Take care. Bye-bye.